The cast of Boys Over Flowers looked like they had perfect lives, but the truth behind the scenes was very different. Each of them faced serious struggles that would change their lives forever. One of them lost over $13 million in legal problems. Another was so poor she slept in her car while studying at a top university. A third was blackmailed while pregnant. And one completely disappeared for 5 years after a family tragedy. The story behind these stars is full of pain, strength, and unexpected turns. Lee Minho wasn't famous when he started acting in 2006. He was just a young man excited about his career. But everything changed during a road trip with friends. Their car crashed while heading to Gangwon province. The people sitting in the front died immediately. Lee Minho and his friend Young Illinois Woo were in the back. They survived, but just barely. Lee Minho was in a coma for a month. When he woke up, his body was broken. He had serious injuries in his ribs, thigh, ankle, and knee. Doctors had to put a long metal pin in his thigh, and one of his legs became shorter than the other. For an entire year, he couldn't even stand without pain. It felt like his dream of becoming a star was over before it really began. But somehow, Lee Minho didn't give up. He worked hard and finally landed the role of Jiu Junpyo in Boys Over Flowers. The character became iconic. No one watching him on screen knew how much pain he had gone through. He became the face of a generation. But life didn't stop testing him. In 2011, while filming City Hunter, he got into another car crash. It made his old injuries worse. These past injuries also meant he couldn't serve as a regular soldier when it was time for his military service. From May 2017 to April 2019, he worked as a public service officer instead. Some people didn't understand why, but they didn't know how much pain he was still living with. Then in 2022, something surprising happened. He joined a Hollywood project, the series Pachinko. It was emotional and powerful, and his performance amazed fans and critics. Even major media outlets like the New York Times and Rolling Stone praised his work. He was no longer just known for his looks. He proved he was a serious actor. But with fame came pressure. Lee Minho admitted that being at the top for 12 years made him afraid. He felt like one mistake could destroy everything. In July 2025, he shared something very personal. His dog had died, and he cried for days. It made him realize how lonely fame could be. He said he wanted to get married before turning 40. Despite the emotional challenges, his career is stronger than ever. He represents 11 major brands and is involved in 27 product categories. From Hugo Boss to Fendi to Cuckoo, his face is trusted across Asia. He is one of the most in-demand stars for endorsements. Now, he is getting ready for a big comeback in movies. His new film, Omniscient Reader, has a budget of 30 billion won and marks his return to the big screen after almost 10 years. He said he feels more pressure because a movie is a one-shot deal, unlike dramas that allow weekly feedback. But he is ready to return, using everything he's learned from the pain and the growth. Hyesun once played the sweet and lovable lead that everyone admired. She seemed like the perfect girl, full of light and hope. But her real life was much more painful. In 2019, her marriage to Jae-hyun fell apart in public. At first, they looked like the ideal couple. They even donated their wedding money to charity. But then private messages came out. They revealed a relationship filled with anger, mistrust, and sadness. Koo accused him of being emotionally distant. He said she sneaked into his apartment and recorded him while he slept. He also said he was dealing with depression and financial problems. He sold his home and took out loans to meet her demands. Their divorce in 2020 left both of them hurt and fans in shock. But Koo Hyesun didn't give up. She returned to school, determined to succeed. She went back to Sungkyunkwan University, where she had dropped out before, and studied harder than ever. In February 2024, she graduated with a GPA of 4.27 out of 4.5, which is about 97.7%. But she didn't stop there. She got accepted into KAIST, one of South Korea's hardest universities, for a master's degree in science journalism. Even critics were shocked by this achievement. Her new journey wasn't easy. She later shared that she had been sleeping in her car in parking lots because she had no home. The same woman who used to be a famous TV star was now a student living in her vehicle. But she didn't give up. In 2021, she created a new product, a folding hair roller called the Goo Roll. It wasn't just for show. It was a real invention, and by 2025 she launched a company based on it. She teamed up with a cased chemistry professor to bring it to life. She got a legal patent and a government certificate for her business. She turned her life around in a way no one could have imagined. Kim Hyun-joong, who played the Quiet Prince, faced one of Korea's biggest celebrity scandals. It all started in 2014 when his ex-girlfriend accused him of being violent. She said he hurt her badly, needing 6 weeks to heal. He admitted to one incident and paid her around $7,000. But things got worse. She said she was pregnant and that he caused a miscarriage. Later, she said that part wasn't true, but the damage was already done. In 2015, Kim sued her for defamation. She gave birth to a son in September, and a DNA test proved Kim was the father. The court case dragged on for years. In 2017, Kim won. The court told the woman to pay him 100 million won, and she got a suspended jail sentence for assault. But Kim had already lost a lot. He spent over $13 million dealing with the legal battle. Big brands like Toyota and Elle dropped him. His concerts were cancelled. His agency left him, saying he couldn't be trusted. From 2015 to 2017, while serving in the military, he tried to stay away from the spotlight, but news about him kept coming out. When he came back, his problems continued. His ex wanted full custody of their son and money every month. In the middle of this, Kim married another woman in 2018. She had supported him through everything. Now he had 2 children with 2 different women, and the media had a lot to say. His music career also suffered. He used to sell hundreds of thousands of albums. Now, he was lucky to sell 30,000. His performance fees dropped from $500,000 to only $50,000 per show. In 2021, people saw him eating in expensive restaurants while still owing legal and child support debts. By 2022, he had moved into a small apartment worth 500 million won, far from his former luxury penthouse. Hoping to make a comeback, he reunited with other SS 501 members in 2023 and formed a group called 501. But fans didn't respond the way they had hoped. Their shows happened in small venues instead of big stadiums. The spotlight had faded. Kim Bum, who played the charming Potter, became very popular after Boys Over Flowers. But he had a hidden struggle. Even in his early 20s, he had rheumatoid arthritis, a painful and degenerative disease that ran in his family. He kept it a secret while taking medicine and exercising to manage the pain. When he was called for military service in 2018, the truth finally came out. Because of his condition, he wasn't fit to serve as a regular soldier. He was placed in public service instead. Fans were shocked. No one had guessed that the happy and energetic actor was dealing with such serious pain. His love life also became big news. In October 2013, he started dating actress Moon Gun-young. They were co-stars in the drama Goddess of Fire. Their relationship was confirmed in November 2013, and fans were happy. But by May 2014, just 7 months later, they broke up. Then in March 2018, just before joining the military, Kim Bum confirmed another relationship with actress Oh Yeon-seo. It looked like a sweet goodbye before a 2-year break. But that relationship ended quickly too. Both of his public relationships had ended suddenly, and fans wondered what was going on. In the middle of everything, Kim Bum made a surprising move that no one expected. He decided to change his acting style and took on darker, more serious roles. He appeared in medical dramas and thrillers where he could show a different side of himself. His performance in the drama Law School in 2021 was praised for being sharp and emotional. People saw how much he had grown as an actor. By 2023, he starred in the fantasy series Tale of the Nine-Tailed, where his character had a more complex and mature storyline. His acting career began to pick up again, but the struggles he had been through left a mark on him. He continued to work hard, always aware of how easily everything could change. The story of the Boys Over Flowers cast is full of pain, strength, and survival. They were once seen as perfect idols, but behind the cameras, they were just people dealing with heartbreak, illness, and loss. Each one of them had to fight battles that most fans never saw. But through all the setbacks, they showed what real strength looks like. Not the kind you see on screen, but the quiet strength of getting up after being knocked down. Their journeys remind us that fame does not protect anyone from pain, but it can give them the chance to rise again, even stronger than before. In 2012, Kim Bum took a big step in his career by entering the music world. He released a solo album called Hometown on June 20th, and to show how serious he was, he held a live concert in Japan. It took place at the Stella Ball inside Tokyo's Shinagawa Prince Hotel. This wasn't just something he did for fun. It was clear to everyone that he really meant it. He wasn't treating music like a side project or a quick experiment. He wanted people to see this was a true dream of his. And they did. Fans supported him because they could feel the honesty behind it. Soon after, in 2013, he made another major move, this time in the world of acting. He landed a lead role in the Chinese film Young Detective D, Rise of the Sea Dragon, directed by the famous Tsui Hark. That movie became one of the highest-grossing films in China that year. It was a huge success, and suddenly Kim Bum wasn't just a star in Korea, he was becoming well-known all across Asia. After that, he took on more Chinese projects, appearing in dramas and films like V-Love, Lovers, and Movies, and The Beloved. He didn't make a big fuss about it, but without much warning, he had turned into a global actor. Even more impressive, he did all this quietly and without showing off. Yet, there was something else that made fans curious about him, his silence about love. By 2025, Kim Bum was 36 years old and still completely single. Since breaking up with Oh Yeon-seo in 2018, there hadn't been any confirmed news of him dating anyone. Despite being one of the most handsome and admired men in Korea, he never said anything about romance or marriage. Fans constantly search online for clues, typing things like Kim Bum wife again and again. But no one ever finds anything real. There are no solid rumors, no hidden relationships spotted by the media, and no gossip that sticks around. The mystery makes people even more curious about him. After finishing his required military service, Kim Bum didn't slow down at all. In fact, he came back even stronger. In 2020, he played an important role in the drama Tale of the Nine-Tailed, and then followed up with roles in Law School in 2021 and Ghost Doctor in 2022. With every new project, he showed something different about himself. He wasn't just the good-looking guy from a classic drama anymore. He had talent. He had the ability to adapt to different characters, and most importantly, he had the kind of staying power that many actors dream of. Looking ahead, he's expected to star in a 2026 SBS drama titled Sold Out Again Today. In this show, he'll play an executive director named Seo Eric, a role that seems ready to show yet another side of him. Kim Jun, another actor from the legendary Boys Over Flowers series, also had a journey that took fans by surprise. He became a global heartthrob after playing the character Song Woo-bin. While fans everywhere were falling in love with his charming personality on screen, Kim Jun was keeping something deeply personal hidden from everyone. He had been dating someone since middle school. By the time he debuted with the boy group T-Max in 2007, their relationship had already lasted 9 years. Yet, not a single person outside his close circle knew about it. Then in June 2018, he made a shocking announcement. He revealed that he had been married since 2015. And his wife wasn't a celebrity or a new partner. She was the same woman he had been with since his teenage years. During all the years of rising fame, he had managed to keep their love, their wedding, and their entire family life completely private. But that wasn't even the biggest surprise. That same year, he also shared that he had a child. It meant he had been a father for quite some time, and still no one had even guessed it. In an industry where personal details are often exposed to the public, Kim Jun did what almost no other celebrity could. He built a life behind the scenes and protected it completely. In terms of his career, things also changed. In September 2011, he began his mandatory military service. He served as a conscripted police officer and was discharged in June 2013. After that, the boy group T-Max quietly faded away, and Kim Jun started choosing smaller roles. He stepped back from big productions and instead focused on less flashy, more personal work. Kim Soun also had a unique journey. Before becoming an actress, she had planned to be a professional skier. She was even training to join Korea's national skiing team. But in 2003, her life changed forever during a junior ski competition in Pyeongchang, the same city that would later host the Winter Olympics. She was scouted by a talent agency, and just like that, she left behind her future in sports and stepped into acting. Even after Boys Over Flowers made her popular, her path wasn't always easy. She switched agencies several times. In 2016, she joined Will Entertainment, and in 2021, she moved to Ascendio Reserve. But by 2024, fans noticed her name was removed from Ascendio's official website. No one made any announcements, but it was clear she had left. Now she works independently, which is quite rare and risky in the Korean entertainment world. Usually, not having an agency can pause someone's career, but she decided to go her own way. Her love life also kept people curious. In 2014, she appeared with actor Song Jae-rim on the reality show We Got Married. Their chemistry was so natural and fun to watch that they won the Best Couple award at the MBC Entertainment Awards. But what really surprised people was how long the rumors lasted. Even in June 2023, almost 10 years after the show aired, people were still asking whether they were secretly dating. Was it true love, or just a really convincing performance that fans didn't want to let go of? Whatever the truth, their bond has remained a topic of interest for a long time. Outside of acting, Kim So-eun also shows a side that many fans might not expect. She's active in promoting social causes. She has served as a cultural ambassador for events like the Korea International Youth Film Festival and the Jeonju International Film Festival. In 2014, she also represented the Green Film Festival, showing her support for environmental protection. That quiet, thoughtful part of her life gives more depth to her image. She's not just the sweet girl next door character people remember. She's also someone who thinks deeply and acts meaningfully. Then there's Park Jibin, whose journey in the industry is perhaps the most surprising. In 2009, he was only 14 years old when he played the lovable younger brother of one of the main characters in Boys Over Flowers. Everyone thought of him as the cute little guy who brought humor and light to the screen. But as time passed, he went through major changes. By 2025, he's 30 years old and looks completely different. He's no longer the kid brother, he's a full-grown leading man. Fans now even joke and call him Appa instead of or because of his mature appearance and serious energy. But all of this change came with deep pain. In June 2014, his father passed away unexpectedly. The loss hit him hard. He had planned to join the military that year, but after losing his father, he delayed his enlistment by nearly a year. He eventually joined on May 26, 2015, and served for 21 months, completing his service on February 25, 2017. Those years, when other actors were moving into adult roles and building their careers, Park Ji-bin disappeared. He didn't act in any dramas, didn't appear on variety shows, and stayed completely away from the public eye for 5 years, from 2013 to 2018. People began to wonder if he had given up acting completely. But during that time, he was changing, growing, and preparing for something different. When he finally returned in 2018, fans could hardly recognize him. The soft boyish features were gone. He had become a sharp-featured, serious man, and his energy was completely different. He stopped playing innocent characters and started taking on darker, more intense roles. In 2024, he starred in the Disney Plus series A Shop for Killers, where he played a villain named Jong Minute. Fans were shocked by how well he portrayed such an intense character. One viewer even said that his villain role was outstanding. It became clear that Park Ji-bin was no longer the same person everyone had remembered from the past. Now, he's pushing his career even further. After staying away from movies for 6 years, he made a big return with a historical drama called My Name. The story takes place during the Jeju 4.3 incident of 1948. He plays Kyung Tae, a wealthy and intimidating transfer student from Seoul who everyone at school fears because of how good he is at fighting. The filming finished on April 3, 2025, and critics are already calling it a turning point in his acting career. Lee Minjung's story, on the other hand, felt like it came straight out of a drama itself. After playing Chaeyoung in Boys Over Flowers in 2009, her career quickly took off. That same year, she won Best New Actress at the Korean Association of Film Critics Awards for her performance in White Knight. But it was the 2010 romantic comedy Cyrano Agency that made her a true household name. She won more awards, appeared in endless advertisements, and was even called a goddess by the media. Everything looked perfect. But behind the glamour, her personal life was facing serious challenges. In August 2013, she married actor Lee Byung-hun. But a year later, in 2014, a major scandal broke out. Lee Byung-hun was secretly recorded by a model and a K-pop idol, who then tried to blackmail him for nearly $3.7 million. What made it worse was that Lee Minjung was pregnant at the time. She left their home and stayed with her parents. The media was harsh and unforgiving. Most people assumed they would get divorced. But she surprised everyone by staying. She chose not to walk away. On March 31, 2015, she gave birth to their son, Lee Jun-ho. It took years, but they slowly rebuilt their life. In December 2023, 8 years after their son, they welcomed a daughter. The long gap between the children said a lot about the time it took to heal and trust again. Then came her unexpected return to the spotlight. After her last drama ended in 2020, she stepped away from acting for 5 years. Then in March 2025, she came back, but not through a drama or movie. She launched her own YouTube channel. She joked about learning how to ask people to like, comment, and subscribe from Mensa member Kim Hyun-joong. In May 2025, her first variety show aired. It was called Heart on Wheels, and it was special because it carried her name. In the show, she traveled to rural villages using a moving convenience store. Her husband, Lee Byung-hun, narrated the show using the same voice as his character from the drama Our Blues. It marked a new beginning for her, one built not just on acting, but on real connection. Chaeyoung's story went in a completely different direction. She became a star in 2009 after playing Minute Seo-hyun in Boys Over Flowers. At 29, she was already at the peak of her career. Most people expected more dramas and red carpet appearances. But what happened over the next 16 years was far more dramatic than anything she ever played on screen. In 2012, she shocked her Korean fans by announcing she was leaving the Korean entertainment industry. She signed an exclusive deal with a Chinese company called Hyesun Brothers, reportedly worth around $12 million. It was one of the biggest deals ever made by a Korean actress at that time. To many in Korea, it felt like she had turned her back on them. But for Chaeyoung, it was just a new beginning. By 2015, reports started emerging that she wasn't just acting anymore, she had become a serious real estate investor. She bought properties in Seoul's Gangnam district, Shanghai, and even Los Angeles. The total value of her real estate holdings exceeded $40 million. Most people had no idea she was using her Chinese earnings to build a property empire. Then in 2018, rumors started spreading that she was in a relationship with a Chinese tech billionaire named Li Wei-chen. Photos showed them spending time together, and people noticed that whenever he made a business move, she would buy more property shortly after. They never confirmed the relationship, but the timing raised many eyebrows. In 2023, things took a darker turn. Korean tax authorities started investigating her and claimed she had underreported her Chinese income by about $6 million. Although the issue was eventually resolved, the damage to her reputation was already done. For years, she had built an image of grace and success, but now people were questioning if it was all just a carefully controlled image. In 2025, she made a return to the screen with a film called The Devil You Know. But it wasn't just a comeback, it looked like a strategic move to fix her public image and reconnect with fans she had once left behind. Whether or not it will work remains to be seen, but one thing is for sure, Chaeyoung's story is no longer just about fame. It's about taking risks, rebuilding trust, and how quickly a career can turn into something completely different.